I'm Kathryn Kennedy, a reporter with the Daily Reflector, and I am here today with Rick Smiley, who is a candidate running at large for the Greenville City Council. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Start off by telling me just what motivated you to run this year.
I've been increasingly engaged in things around the city for some time now with the Neighborhood Advisory Board and the, working with the Historic Preservation Commission. I've been the president of my homeowners association, and when the seat opened up, it just seemed like a great way to take some of the energy I've been directing and bring it to citywide office where I could have a larger impact.
Talk to me a little bit about the race itself to start out. You are competing with 5 other people for the open seat. How do you distinguish yourself from the other candidates? How do you make you seem different, I guess?
Well, I think that when the ideas are out there, that we all seem different. I think that most of us have our own take on the way the direction the city needs to go. And so I think that's the strategy. You have to put out your ideas, make people know you're running is a big part of it. But once that's accomplished, let people know what it is you stand for, what it is you hope to do, what your approach to governing would be. And if you do that, you do it well, then if your ideas resonate, then I think you'll get the votes.
You mentioned earlier it is a citywide office.
Mm-hmm.
How would you go about balancing the needs of one part of the city versus another of the various communities that are represented in Greenville?
That's actually I think that is the challenge. And in fact, for the at-large position, I think that is probably the most important role, the at-large seat, because it deals with people from all over, from every district. Each individual district has unique needs and challenges, and the people who represent those districts, while I'm sure they're interested in the city at large, rightfully pay attention to what their district needs and make sure they represent those people well. The at-large seat really needs to be a bridge to focus on the long-term health of the city as a whole and make sure that the city works for all our citizens. I think the way to do that is very powerful long-range planning. That when we make long-range plans, the way we do that is we get citizens from a wide array of interest, and we put them in the same room, and they spend weeks and weeks putting those plans together. When you get a group of people who represent the city as a whole, and they describe the goals that we would like to achieve over the next 10, 15, 20 years, those are the goals of our community. And if we establish them in that way, so that we're being inclusive and we're taking into account all of the various interests, then that's a very powerful thing. And the key then is to make sure that we follow those goals, that all of our actions are set to achieve those goals, the goals that we as a community have put together.
Are there specific issues facing the city that require that kind of planning at this time in your eyes?
I think that most of our issues address that. I mean, just last night on council, we saw votes on addressing our need to make long-range plans about our public transportation systems. We talk regularly about crime in the city. A lot of the issues that we face as crime are structural in some ways. That if we did a better job of planning and making the city work for all its citizens, then we would probably face lower challenges on the crime front.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, and I
Absolutely.
appreciate your time. Good luck to you.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.